Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to do a bit of an update from the last Grandstand about the Kroger Shoplifter chick and the police involved shooting that killed her, is what it was. And basically, just the complete and total fuckery that was the whole thing there, is what it is. And, obviously, AK Nation News covered the story earlier tonight, is what it was. So, figured I'd come on here and do this now because I wanted to use some excerpts and stuff from his stream as well as what it is there. Specifically, what the one chick was saying, I thought was pretty interesting and worth noting and stuff like that. So, anyway, basically, before we do that, though, I'm not going to obviously do video or anything like that. We'll just do audio, is what it is. But anyway, the entire point is, though, is that you have a woman in that Takaya Young, basically, as somebody pointed out on AK's panel, was a getaway driver. She was basically the first one out the door, getting into the vehicle with a bunch of alcohol in her hand and stuff like that. Meanwhile, there was 3, 4, 5, however many other chicks it was with her there. And what's really interesting, and this basically goes to that whole thing and mind frame and stuff like that, because apparently, I guess the reason that the cops were out there initially, as they said in that previous article from Associated Press, did a very piss poor job, by the way, of actually explaining what was going on there. The local news affiliates there in Columbus are talking about it here in the last day or two, is what it is. And basically, what happened was you had you had a squad car, is basically what it was, with 2 officers in it, called out to help somebody because they had locked their keys in their vehicle in the Kroger parking lot. So you literally had the cops out there with a little Slim Jim or whatever it was, popping the fucking door and trying to help some old woman get her keys out of her car and stuff like that she had locked in the car by accident. At that point, what happened was you then had a store employee from Kroger go out there and tell these cops, be like, hey, that girl over there with a big bottle of booze, she has a big bag of booze in her hand, she's stealing all that shit, and there's a bunch of others in the store still stealing some stuff too, is what it is. So pretty much it's a theft ring is what we're talking about here. We're talking about, just like we're seeing in California, just like we've seen in New York, just like we've seen in every major city in this country, honestly. You have groups of individuals, all black, by the way, I'm going to say it like it is, going around and thinking they can have no consequences for their actions. And so they'll go around and loot every place, is what it is. They'll go around and steal everything, is what it is. As AK calls them, sons. And he's right about that one. Sun man, sun woman, sun teen, whatever it is. The entire point, though, is you have those groups of individuals, those sons, that will go around doing that kind of stuff and thinking they're not going to be, caught and arrested, caught and charged, whatever the case be. And so what happened in this case was you had this young girl, this 21-year-old chick, already a mother of 2, which, by the way, none of the local affiliates even said anything about that either, for that matter. I think even AK's panel was thinking this was going to be a first-time mother, which she wasn't, dude. She was already a mother of 2 young boys, being 6 and 3 respectively, and the fact that she had 2 kids pretty much around the time she was 18 years old and was going to have a third here, really just shows she's a crappy parent all the way around is what it is, dude. And, as I said yesterday, I'm pretty sure that, I wouldn't be surprised if she was a welfare queen for that matter, because when you look at the assistance programs in the state and stuff like that, it actually makes sense for her to, for this chick to have almost planned ahead and done her pregnancies every couple of years is what it is then. Because I believe it's whenever you hit a child of 6 years old or something like that is when your benefits start to get cut off in the state of Ohio is what it is, because it's how our legislature set up here is what it is. And it makes sense for her to go, one in her young teens and then one, right as she was about to turn of age to vote, and now another one when she was going to be 21 is what it is. So that we'd have a 3-year separation every single time is what it would be then. So I wouldn't be surprised by it, honestly, dude. I've seen people do shit like that before, honestly, where they basically are trying to figure out a way to fuck the system as much as they can is what it is, though. So anyway, basically what you had was you had this chick, though. She was most likely a getaway driver, the first one getting out of there to get in the vehicle to drive off, then is what it would be, and help everybody else get in the vehicle, then is what it would have been then. So cops confront her ass. No license plates on the vehicle whatsoever. Illegally parked in a handicap spot in front of the store. There's what it was. Cops telling her over a dozen times, get the fuck out of the car, 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 continuously. Doesn't reply to them, sits there, turns the fucking vehicle on, puts it into drive, starts driving forward on this cop. Cop is backpedaling, fires one shot as he's backpedaling out of the way pretty much. Car continues to go for another 50 feet, almost hitting into the Kroger itself, which I'm surprised there's enough room from the handicap spot to where the building actually was, where the car actually stopped there is what it is. So, yeah, just fucking insanity is what it is, man. And then, since then, in the last couple of days now, here's what it is. You've had a bunch of ignorant motherfuckers, a bunch of dumbass leftists, etc., a bunch of college commies, all these people like that, As a case panel put it, pretty much a bunch of white people is what it was doing it. But looking at the crowd, it wasn't all white, dude. Like, there was definitely some mixed race people in there, too, as well. So, I would say it's mostly college-age liberals, though, is what it is, honestly. And, it's the same jackasses for a lot of the ways that were down there in 2020 at the State House, blocking roads, blocking traffic, doing all kinds of stupid shit. And then it was, their black compadres there that were the ones doing the run on the State House windows and smashing the fuck out of them is what it was, the BLM part of it, dude. It was like the Antifa side that was a bunch of white folks is what it was, doing the, blocking of traffic and stuff like that. And then it was the actual BLM side that was doing the fucking, like, smash and grab kind of shit. There's what it is then. Which they're both terrorist organizations in this country. Let's call it what it is, dude. And the fact they haven't been labeled as such in this country yet is absolutely fucking ridiculous. They should both be labeled those things. Because if you can actually label them that, by the way, guess what you can have happen? You can have something we're going to talk about later today on Buckshot Thursday, which is basically, this is how you remove that little shithead Justin Jones from the Tennessee General Assembly, dude. Because that asshole, there was video evidence of that motherfucker committing rioting and all kinds of other fucking terrorist felonies back in 2020. That dude shouldn't even be in any General Assembly in this country, let alone be a sitting state lawmaker in Tennessee is what it is, dude. Especially when he's trying to grab for guns and commit deprivation of law every single chance he does it. Same thing with that Justin Pearson, for that matter. And that's what I'm saying. If Cameron Sexton had any balls right now, dude, as Speaker of the House of Tennessee right there, he would be calling for me to arrest both those assholes and be done with it, dude. Be like, nope, sorry, you've broken your oath to office, you committed deprivation of law, trying to steal people's gun rights. And, oh, by the way, we have all this other stuff on you from years ago where you were doing all kinds of felonies before you got in office then that would have disqualified you on the spot. So, fuck you. Get the hell out. And just have state troopers ready to arrest their asses would it be then. Like, that would be the fucking boss move right now, honestly, dude. But who's to say Sexton's going to do that? I doubt it. But we'll see, man. I mean, it's still going to be like 4.5, 5 months before Tennessee comes back into session in January 2024 is what it'll be. So, and then of course you had all these stupid cunts that are some like quote-unquote anti-violence group that's all a bunch of Covenant fucking parents that weren't, their family was not actually affected by the whole thing. None of their kids were actually killed in that situation. They're the ones bitching and moaning about like, and this is why we need more gun control. No, this is why you stupid fucking cunts need to shut the fuck up and go away is what it is. And stop trying to take people's gun rights is what it is. Stop trying to take people's constitutional rights away from them, dude. And, we've had that discussion before with in the last few days here about Newsom and company where, they're trying to push that 20th Amendment now. And it's like, you got at least one of these people now being like, well, we totally shouldn't do a convention of states because then it would be a whole thing where they can put anything on the table. And it's like, yeah. And guess what's going to be first thing on the chopping block? At least a partial repeal of the 19th Amendment is what it'll be, man. Legitimately. All you leftist hoes out there that have voting rights right now, say goodbye to those because that's going to be gone if a convention of states ever happens. Same thing with all the dipshits on the left with the 26th Amendment, dude. Voting rights by default at 18, bye-bye. So, seriously. Like, that's how you fix the fucking problem right now, dude. You just tell the left to go fuck itself. They don't have voting rights anymore, is what it would be then. In some kind of convention of states. Now, granted, would that spark a civil war in this country? Perhaps. Who the hell knows? But, if nothing else, it would definitely do something. Take us from the state we're in right now to something else is what it'll be then. But anyway, coming back around and being on topic though. So basically you had these idiots out in front of Kroger the other day. At least one or two of them was holding a big ass BLM flag, and then you had a bunch of others holding signs being like, "Justice for this chick," and that's what they always do, man. It's like justice for insert dead criminal's name here is what it is. Like, pretty sure that they already got served the justice that they deserve, dude. Pretty sure they already got the law and order that they had coming to them. They fucked around and they found out. They committed fucking crimes. Who's to say if it was grand theft or not, if that be the case? And then try to do other things where they were committing attempted vehicular homicides would have been done on that police officer. And they found out when the cop banged right through the fucking window, and it was like a magic bullet, pretty much, that, just happened to kill that chick. And then, of course, they said in the one of the news stations there for Columbus even said that the car door itself was locked. So the cops only had to like bash the fucking window in with one of their batons to even get the chick any medical assistance. What it was then. So, yeah, just like, you're doing it if you do, you're doing it if you don't, man, honestly. So, and that's the thing, too. It's like, they shot her, but they also tried to help her after the fact, dude. It's like, that was just going to, like, her fatality was going to be a thing no matter what, I think, honestly, is what it was. Just happened to be that she was stupid and did some stupid shit. And then, you fucked around, you found out what it is, dude. And that's the truth of the matter. It's stupid people doing stupid things. And then even stupider people coming out of the woodwork and being like, but this is why we should sit there and protest for a dead criminal. And it's like, all you're showing is how ignorant you are then. You're showing how dumb you are. And why you should never have voting rights in this country because of the fact that you're dumb enough to sit there and basically cuck for these morons is what it is. And that's the thing, man. It's like, I'll talk about it here in a minute, actually, because it was one of the chicks on the AK's panel tonight was the one that brought up about food deserts and stuff. But I can't remember if that was the one that was on the panel that night I was on there or not, because I was, that was the thing. It was like, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months ago, something like that, maybe a little longer even. Beginning of this year, I believe is what it was. I'd gone on there because they were talking about Maine specifically. And I mentioned something about how not all criminals are black people is what it is. Like, there are some white people out here that do crimes and shit too, and like other races and stuff too. And it was like a whole thing of like, it was very interesting too, because, being on the other side of things and you're on that streamer where you can see like the private chat and stuff like that. Dude, there was so much racism from that panel towards me after that. Like, it was a fucking slap in the face, honestly, dude. And I'm not surprised by it, honestly, because even when you look at AK's panel on any given night on the streams there, dude, like, a lot of those people are openly racist towards everybody is what it is. So, I'm not the least bit surprised by that one, depending on the person, obviously. And specifically in that case, it was like 2 of the dudes, I believe is what it was, that were giving me a lot of shit is what it was, though. But the thing is, like, I'm speaking truth is what it is, man. Like, not just because, like, the majority of people that are criminals happen to fall in, like, one category and one race, whatever it is, dude, doesn't mean they're all that race. And yes, there's escalations of violence and stuff like that. Like, there could be something where it's like, X, Y, and Z become a thing together, where, it goes from, like, petty theft to something else to murder or something, dude. Or in this case, in that young woman's case, it was, some kind of theft of alcohol. Who knows how much it was worth? Could have been grand theft, could have just been, some kind of other theft, if that be the case, like misdemeanor theft of some kind. And then she chose to escalate it to attempted vehicular homicide. And then in response, she ended up getting domed by the cop, is what it was. Which I assume was more of a chest shot than a head shot, but you never know, man. So, yeah, the way that they were explaining it sounded like it was more just like right in the chest is what it was, which makes sense if you're, backpedaling and you shoot like directly into the basically center of the windshield. It would go flying through the windshield and probably hit you directly in the chest or like upper, like throat area maybe or something. So, anyway, but like I said, a sad situation because you had a woman who could have been a better mother to her kids, dude. She should have been a better mother in general is what it is. Even if she was on the system here in the state of Ohio, she could have easily gotten her shit together and just been there for her kids, dude. Raised some good kids in this country, honestly. And now what's going to happen? You're going to have grandma, great grandma raise the 2 sons, is what it'll be then. And who's to say what's going to happen to those kids, 5, 10, 15 years from now, it'll be. I mean, the fact that one's already 6, who the hell is to say when that kid's like 11 to 14, he's not going to be a fucking criminal than himself? Same thing with the younger one that's 3 years old right now. Who's to say by the time he's 8, 9, 10 or something like that, he's not going to be stealing cars too, if that be the case. So, and again, like I said with last night's stream, it could be a situation where you have these fucking kids basically be told by whoever's going to raise them at that point, grandma, great grandma, whoever's going to be there, will just be like, oh, see, people loved your mom. They're going out there and protesting for her because those racist ass cops, and this is why fuck 12 and all this other stupid shit like that. And it's like, again, it's going to ingrain that stuff into these kids at these young ages now. And then you wonder why when these kids are, 3, 4, 5 years older then, they're going to sit there and be all disrespectful and shit like that to any kind of authority figure, not even just the cops, but like anybody for that matter, a teacher, a principal, whatever it's going to be there, you know? And then it's going to be a situation there where we're seeing in many schools nowadays where you basically have these kids fighting all the time. And the only thing that they know is basically how to fight is what it is, dude. And because of Obama's administration at the very end of it, he signed some dumbass law into place where you can't actually expel these kids from schools then. So, yeah, it's just a fucking bunch of shit all the way around is what it is, dude. But anyway, so to jump onto AK's stream here, we're going to discuss what was said here about the thing. Yeah, it's interesting how they were saying about this is what they said on the local news affiliate there. It was 4 fatal shootings in 4 days. It was that particular day's shooting at Easton Town Center, which I think is a mall, if I'm not mistaken. And then there was another one on that Thursday where a man was fatally shot in an auto zone. Then that woman was fatally shot and killed at a Kroger by cops. And then Saturday there was a guy killed at a Dairy Queen. So again, who's to say what those people were doing? They could have been robbing the places. They could have been doing some other shit. Hell, it could have been fucking gang on gang violence again for all the fuck we know. Which is mostly what it is, honestly, depending on where it's at in that city and stuff like that. Like I said, dude, if you look at I want to say it's like the south side or like southeast side of Columbus and stuff is like the really hood area. Places I tend to avoid if I'm ever down there, by the way, with a passion. And if I am in that area, I'm definitely carrying like several extra mags with me. And by that, I mean I'm like literally like driving through there to get to someplace else is what it is, and that's the only route I have to go is what it be then. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm not going to get into that, but like it is kind of funny when you look at like what could define like the markers of the hood in any state, or say any city in any state is what it is, and it's legitimately like 4 or 5 different things is what it is though. Obviously, one of them is a chicken place, being Popeyes. And there's other factors, but I'm not going to get into it past that is what it is though. And people know what I'm saying, man. It's like the truth, honestly. It's sad and it's true though. That being said, Popeyes sells some good shit though, man. Like I've had their food a few times, and it's really good. So, but anyway, yeah, it's just sad though. Like, because we could just have such a better country if people just respected themselves a little bit better across the entire spectrum of society, and would then also respect their communities for that matter as well, and just basically try to rise them up instead of tearing them down is what it is. So, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the way for everybody, and people wonder why you have white flight and shit like that is what it is. So, anyway, but yeah, so to go back to AK's panel here.
People gathered at the Kroger where the pregnant woman identified as Takaya Young was shot by police on Thursday.
Let me change that for you. 100 white people.
See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are fucking sickness. Y'all stupid.
100 white people got here at Kroger's, man. There you go. I fixed it, man.
It's funny that they said that like that, but then like as I just like stopped that stream for a sec there, you literally had the people that were carrying the BLM flag. It was a couple of black males is what it was, dude, and then there was somebody else that was also black behind that dude with a big ass it looked like almost like a handmade actually let me just go ahead and I'm gonna try and do a simple screen share here for like a second is what it is. So, yeah, you had that dude right there, that chick right there, whatever that is, carrying a like big ass heart is what it is there. So, yeah, there was definitely people of all races there in that whole thing. Like, it wasn't just a bunch of white folks; it was a mix of like whites and blacks both. But they're all a bunch of ass clowns, is what it is, dude. Because again, they're cucking for a dead criminal, is what it is, man. And they're trying to act like Black Lives Matter when you literally have those people that are, in many cases, criminals that started the whole BLM movement. You have them actually going out there and committing crimes and killing people and stuff like that. You know, whether it be homicides, whether it be, you know, fucking robberies that then turn into attempted vehicular homicides, etc., that then turn into their own, you know, and it could be a suicide by cop for all the fuck we know. I don't know, man. I don't think it is, though, but it's like, again, it was just... The thing is, though, if that chick was really trying to get away, though, you would think, truthfully, why would you be driving, like, upwards towards the store instead of, you know, zipping it backwards, like, out of the parking lot and then zipping out that way is what it is? Because I assumed it was in, like, some random parking place where she was, like, trying to, like, sort of, like, go, like the cop was, like, right here, and she was, like, trying to, like, zip like that is what it was. But it sounds to me more like it was because of the handicap spot there. It was, like, right in front of the store, and she was basically trying to go forward on that cop. And, you know, I don't know. Maybe it was something where she had, like she had gotten a text or something from inside the store where they're like, hey, we're about to get out of here, or whatever the case be. And she was, like, trying to, like, zip forward to go have everybody else jump in the car with her or something, maybe, and then they all drive off together or something, for all the fuck we know. So, I don't know. Who's to say? It could be anything, man. But yeah, it's just ridiculous either way. And like I said, it's just it's again, it's play stupid games, win stupid prizes is what it is. It's fuck around and find out. It's do dumb shit, and you wonder why dumb shit happens to you kind of thing is what it is, man. So, anyway. But continuing on with this, though.
Protesters say police did not have probable cause to shoot the 21-year-old. Police say it all started Thursday night when they got a woman shoplifting at the Kroger.
They're trying to sit there and equate that they did not have probable cause to shoot her ass when she was trying to literally commit vehicular homicide on one of them. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god, bro. Like, that is the most retarded shit I've ever heard in my entire life. For real. That is some dumbass retarded nonsense right there. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway.
She wasn't just shoplifting though. She tried to run the damn post.
Yeah, this inability to like.
It's like they leaving their whole part.
Right.
Exactly.
Some people do this the most, but clearly these liberal idiot gliders are doing it. Like, they just leave off that convenient little part where they did all the shit before.
The cop over.
You gotta leave that out. It's like a lesbian chick or whatever.
It's like
that tried to leave the store. Remember that the story? That lesbian girl that tried to fight the security guard in the store, and he shot her or some shit. Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Even if they did say that she could have had a gun and she was holding the store in a heist, these people would still be out there marching.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
She could have been 9 months pregnant, holding the store hostage with a gun to the head of a 90-year-old woman that's there shopping after snatching her purse, and these people will still be there because that's the mindset that we're dealing with now. It doesn't matter whatever in their mindset suits their narrative. This is what they're going to do. And that's the reason why until society starts telling these people, no, you guys either follow the rules or get out of the way, this is what we're going to have to continue to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of these people will accept the fact that a lot of these marches and all this stuff, you're marching for people who are criminals.
Yep.
And that police, by you doing this, police are not going to want to do their jobs. And it puts everybody's community at risk.
She's right about that. And the thing is, like, and I've said it before, dude, like, you go back to it was either 2020 or 2021, I forget which one. I'm trying to think what it was now. It was either right in the like middle of the 2020 riots, so it would have been like maybe like July of 2020. or it was God, what's that fucking guy's name? The guy who was killed in Minneapolis, where the police chick was yelling taser, 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 and then shot him with her gun is what it was. It was like right after that. I forget which. Because I want to say that there was that dude shooting, and then there was like another one like right after that, like a few days or maybe like a week or something after that. And again, it was like criminal versus cop is what it was there. And you actually had a subset of BLM then, like some local chapter or whatever it was, going out there and be like, who do we protect? Dead criminals. And that was what they were chanting the entire time. And it's like, what the fuck? But that's what tells you exactly what their fucking messaging is. They will protect the dead criminal element. They will protest for dead criminals and continue to degrade our fucking society every single day of our lives until one day you basically have something where people are like, fuck you, no. And then it becomes, like I said before in these last couple chats now, you're going to see this pendulum swing happen where this right-wing authoritarianism these dumb fucking leftists keep talking about, they're going to will it into place. It's going to become reality because they're fucking stupid. Because they've done so much shit to push us towards this fucking time period in history that when the pushback happens, it's going to be a massive overreach. And it's going to be some like fascist dictator type from the right, or even like, you know, something else for that matter, where it goes like so far right, it goes left again kind of thing or something, you know? Like, it's almost like a full circle turn then, if that be the case. Where it's like, it goes like all the way to like the alt-right, and then it goes all the way back around to like the most extreme left or whatever the case be. And it's like Hitler 2.0 or something like that, if that be the case. Or like any of these guys like that. Or like another Stalin or another Mao or another, you know, Che Guevara or something like that. Or maybe it's all those guys combined into one for that matter. Where it's just like, you know, a fucking Super Saiyan or something kind of deal is what it is then. So, you know, who knows, man? But that's the entire problem, though. It's people, and when I say people, I specifically mean Democrat mayors that run these fucking cities and the Democrat city councils that run these fucking cities, and these dumbass county prosecutors that are all a bunch of leftist assholes. They're all, you know, Democrat next to their name and stuff like that. Which, by the way, if you are running for a county prosecutor, you should not be running in any political party at all, dude. You should be running, period, on a fucking county prosecutor's platform is what it is. Being like, yes, we're going to have law and order. Yes, we're going to actually prosecute to the fullest extent of the law when these people do crimes and shit. And we're not going to allow a bunch of criminals to be repeat offenders on our streets again is what it is. And that's what we need to have, honestly, dude. Like, I don't know if it needs to be like a 3 strikes thing coming back or maybe like a 5 strikes thing coming into place or something like that. Because I think that should be, honestly, what it would be then. Or it'd almost be something like that where it's like, and in some cases it'd be like 1 strike and you're done kind of thing. You know, it's like, oh, you raped a bunch of kids? Okay, now you're dead kind of thing. Like, now you're getting straight death penalty is what it would be then. And the same thing with, like, you know, serial killers and shit like that. Like, nope, you're done. You're gone. You know, some kind of spree killer, mass murder, whatever the case be. Nope, same thing there. Like, 1 strike, you're done. And then it would be like lesser stuff would be like, you know, multiple strikes, then it would be. So, but yeah, I think there definitely needs to be levels of shit is what it is, dude. And that's the problem. When you're not actually enforcing any law at all in these cities. And then what's even worse is, and like I've said many times before, you have these idiot-ass liberal mayors like that, like your Justin Bibbs, your Andrew Ginthers, etc. here, sitting there trying to blame guns for everything then, when it's their fucking inability to actually have their county prosecutor prosecute. When it's their fucking shitty-ass mayoralships and their lack of real leadership is what it is to, you know, put the hammer fist down is what it is there and do anything to actually prosecute, you know, criminal offenders with high-level felonies and shit like that, especially when you're doing, like, multiple carjackings. The thing is, I don't care if you're fucking 9 years old or 19 years old. Try these fuckers as adults, dude. Seriously. You know, a fucking pack of 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, whatever they are, or a mix thereof, or one's like 9 and it's like 12, 13, 14, whatever the case be, and it's just like group kids then. Prosecute them all as adults, dude. Now, obviously, they would all be in, you know, some kind of juvenile hall, you know, detention center, DH, whatever you want to call it there. Until they're 18 or 19. And then they get, you know, sent to real jail is what it is then, or real prison with actual adults then. But the entire point is, it's like, yeah, maybe you can rehabilitate some of them then, if that be the case. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to be a lost cause like that one shot or whatever the case be, dude, because I don't think they are, honestly. I think in some cases, some of these kids can be saved. I'm not saying every single one of them can, because they can't, obviously. But yeah, there's definitely like at least a few in that bunch that could be saved if given a chance, honestly, and given a second chance in life is what it is, dude. And actually learning, like, this is what your fucking consequences are, and this is the structure we're going to give you now, kind of thing. And this is the kind of rehabilitation we're going to do for you to hopefully make you a better person in life and allow you to get back out into society and be a better person. And maybe that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a bunch of that stuff to happen, and maybe a generation of that or something like that, maybe 2 generations of that, to actually have good family units again in a lot of these communities. But again, it needs to start someplace, dude, is what it is. And I feel like we need to start the shit now is what it is. Because if we don't start it now, it's just not going to do it ever again is what it'll be. And we're just going to keep going faster and faster, further and further down the slippery slope to where it eventually will be some kind of crazy ass like civil war / race war mixture is what it is then. Because that's what they're definitely trying to push us right now. The media, the fucking globalists, everything else like that, dude. They are trying to hardcore ramp up a race war right now in this country. And obviously a civil war at the same time for that matter. But then again, you got fucking Biden and everybody else like that trying to do like some kind of World War III over in Russia, Ukraine and stuff like that. And then, so it's just exhausting at the end of the day, man. It really is. But anyway, I'm trying to remember which one of those chicks was which that was talking. I think the one that was speaking about what was going on there was went by AP, if I'm not mistaken. Because she mentioned something else here that I wanted to talk about here with her little speech comments there and AK's panel there.
And then these some people, once your store in your community goes down, then you're gonna have a food desert. So then that means you're gonna come out to the suburbs, where a lot of liberals live, who are in the suburbs because they want to get away from Sons and Hombritos. Then they're gonna be like, "Oh, we're not safe anymore." So it's like, it's you bang your head on the floor because you just can't get anywhere with these people. It's just so exhausting.
And I love
Yeah, that guy came in really, really loud. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit.
Oh, these people. Remember they said Denny's. These people.
Yeah, these people. What do you mean by that? Right.
I was making jokes.
What I love is they conflate probable cause with shooting someone. You need probable cause to stop someone.
Right.
And then another argument I hate is, well, a person's life is more valuable than things. No, it's not, especially when that person is stealing, because when you take things, you are keeping people unemployed because that store has a loss prevention. So that means that if they can't get their products, that means they're going to raise the prices. That means some people are going to. Well,
the thing is, too, I'm actually going to stop that because I want to come on that myself right now. The thing with what she was saying there about the loss prevention thing as well is it's not only that, it's if you're in a store and they have nothing that you want or whatever the case, what are you going to do then? In many cases, people are going to go online to Amazon or some online site for that matter that has their shit. And now guess what? You don't have a brick and mortar store anymore is what it'll be then. You now have, online shopping being a thing. And even, I think that chick wants to hear in a minute is what it is. So I'm going to go back to her thing there for a sec.
Lose their jobs, or as you go in the store in the hood, everything is locked up behind a glass case and you have to wait 10 to 20 minutes when somebody comes with a key to unlock just to get deodorant.
Okay, so that's what I was talking about right there, what she was saying about everything being locked up behind glass. And it's interesting she said the hood there, because it's like, I wouldn't even consider a lot of places around me, like hood area and stuff like that, dude, but they're starting to lock shit up around here is what it is, just because people are stealing so much is what it is from those areas. And I know where Honda's at there in Colorado, though, I know his local Walmart there is like very much like hood-ish is what it is there. Because he was even saying that. He said something about how the only thing that isn't behind glass is like a couple food items and stuff like that. But anything you'd want to go around to grab or whatever, you would literally have to have a Walmart employee with you with a key in their hand, just shopping with you for like a half hour, whatever it is, just to unlock shit for you. And so what do you do then? In his case, he then starts going online to like Amazon and everything else like that and just ordering the shit online then. Whether it be a bunch of toilet paper or whether it be, you know, a couple of things of deodorant or some like, you know, soap or maybe like some you know, laundry detergent like Tide or whatever it is there. And that's the sad part, dude. It's just the rampant criminality that leads to so much of this shit. And that's why I'm so glad that some of these people do call this out, honestly, dude, because it's like they're speaking the truth is what it is. And I feel like, again, it goes back to something that Matt has said several times on his different casts, or NEA and stuff like that, where he's discussing about how, I think the way he puts it is like 95% of what it is that we'll all get along, just like that 5% that we don't have together, that we like disagree on and stuff like that, like everybody across the board is what it is in this country. But the thing is, like, I think it's a lot more than 5%, honestly. Like, if I had to break it down myself, I'd say it's more like probably like 12 to 15%, honestly. So it's more like probably like 85, 88%, something like that we can actually get along with across the board. And then it's like that, you know, 12 to 15%, give or take, where it is like hardcore stuff. It's like, no, I'm never going to get along with you on that whole thing. I'm never going to, you know, come to terms with you on that shit. Like, you're trying to grab guns, you're trying to take away my right to defend myself, et cetera, et cetera. Like, no, you can fuck right off on that one. Same exact thing with, you know, people killing kids in the womb. It's like you're offing a child, you're permanently ending innocent human life, but yet you're going to allow a multi-time criminal to survive and live their life in a prison cell, dude. Like, that's the one problem I have with some of these people, dude. Is like, they'll sit there and call me a hypocrite or whatever the case be because I'm, you know, pro innocent human life being saved, but yet also pro death penalty of the most guilty is what it is. The people that actually do go out there and killing sprees or rape a bunch of kids, whatever the case be. It's like, yeah, you're damn right I am, dude. Because again, those people had a choice in their life as a human being, as an adult, to do the right thing, and they chose the way wrong thing many, many times in their life. And yes, they are evil. They deserve to be put down. An innocent child who has done nothing except maybe be born to the wrong parent should not have their life snuffed out permanently just because some stupid bitch finds it inconvenient is what it is, dude. And that's what it really is. It's selfishness in so many ways is what it is, dude. And that's why I can't stand these fucking cunts here in Ohio that are pushing through that abortion shit here in November, dude, because it's like they're the ones who are hardcore doing this shit. And now they're trying to sue Frank LaRoche and the board and stuff like that because they actually put in human being instead of fetus, which, by the way, for those who don't know, the term fetus is actually, I believe it's either French or Latin for literal human or something like that is how it equates to it. Basically means human being is what it is in a different country's language. And that's the problem right now is these people are so sick in the fucking head, these leftist types. They are so demonically out of whack that this is exactly why we're in a fight between good and evil in this country, honestly. You know, you have the righteous right is what I like to call it at this point. And I'm not saying it's just right people on the right or anything like that. It's also right and center for that matter. It's a lot of people that actually follow the Lord at this point. You know, it's actually them going to churches, and it doesn't really matter, church, synagogue, whatever the case be, and actually having a higher power, having a faith in God is what it is. And you got so many people on the left that are either atheist or agnostic or Satanist or whatever the case be by their own admission is what it is there. And they're literally worshiping Lucifer is what it is, dude. You know, it's like that thing I talked about a few weeks ago on this channel, or in the past couple weeks here on this channel. I was watching this video on Twitter a couple weeks back now is what it was. And it was this girl who was talking about how for a lot of her life, she thought she was a lesbian. And she decided to basically, you know, pursue relationships with other women is what it was there. And then one of her friends, who was a regular churchgoer is what it was like, hey, you should come to church with me and hang out and stuff. And the girl's like, oh, no, they don't want me there because, you know, I'm this hardcore lesbian and stuff like that or whatever. And the chick's like, no, just come with me, man. Like, it's cool. You can come here, man. Like, you're wanted here. Like, you know, we don't judge you for that thing or whatever. And this woman said that when she went into that church for the first time, she had basically a vision. She had a vision with God where she saw two pathways in her life. She saw the pathway that she was on, and she saw a different pathway that she could choose. And the pathway that she was on, it was basically her and like her current partner, whatever it was, standing there. And then you had a bunch of stuff underneath them that was all like blacked out or redded out or whatever it was there, where it was like all in red or all in black or something. But it was clearly like the shadows of people, like the shadows of children, etc. And then she saw this other pathway where it was her and a guy. And it was that same kind of stuff underneath them, but it was just all white and shiny, like actually bright, like a bright light, basically. And it was generation after generation after generation after generation of a family bloodline. And she realized that this whole LGBTQ thing is nothing more than a bunch of Satanism. And that if she wanted to actually have a family, have a, future bloodline, she was not a lesbian. She was maybe bisexual at best. And she was going to have to marry a man then to get what she wanted there, which was eventually a family. And it's very interesting when you look at that kind of stuff, because I feel like that's what a lot of people are, dude. It's their, you have so many of these people, and when you look at it, it's sort of almost generational indoctrination is what I call it, because you have these older folks that are the, basically like the 1960s, 1970s college commies back then, that were the old, like, radical Weather Underground people and stuff like that are now in their 60s or 70s or 80s or whatever now, who are the ones basically controlling these younger generations of like 20-somethings, 30-somethings, whatever it is there, to do the same shit. Or even like these teenage girls and stuff like that. It's these college professors that are in their, 60s, 70s, whatever it is there, that were the original fucking commies there in the 1960s, 1970s, that will sit there and tell these young girls like, oh no, you can totally be a lesbian, you can totally be bisexual, you can totally be, a trans man, whatever the case be, and you'll be fine, man. And then you wonder why you have entire generations of people being wiped out now. You wonder why you have generation sterilization becoming reality right now. You wonder why this bullshit abortion amendment they're pushing here in Ohio in November is not just abortion. It's not just baby murder, dude. It is child sterilization. They're trying to allow children, just like in Michigan, to have all kinds of puberty blockers put in their system without any kind of parental consent, to be on HRT drugs, the same exact thing that we use to chemically castrate pedophiles in prisons in this country. It is fucking insanity. It is just completely psychotic. And then people wonder, like, why we're in the situation we're in now, dude. And then you wonder why you got, generation after generation of criminals in certain communities and stuff like that. It's not that hard to figure out, dude. And like that chick was saying, you have these people going out there and protesting for these dead criminals, instead of being like, no, we're not going to put up with this shit anymore. Because you don't put up with this shit anymore, you're not going to create a fucking food desert. And then when you create, and then eventually if they don't do that and they create that food desert, then people are bitching and moaning about, like, why does our area have a food desert and why don't we have a grocery store anymore? It's like, because you literally robbed it out of existence, dude. Period. It's just like I said before in many panels over the years, actually, right now. There's a reason why 30-something years ago, during the LA race riots in 1992, man, one of the first places that got burned down was a gas station that was also a little corner convenience store is what it was. In over 3 decades, that place still has yet to be rebuilt. And the people that live there now wonder why they have a food desert in that area. Because the fucking moron generations previous to you burned the motherfucker to the ground, and nobody was dumb enough to go in there and have it be burned again. That's why. Period. It's the same exact shit we saw after the 2020 riots, dude. You had so many mom and pop shops be burned to the fucking ground or being looted out of everything. And you wonder why people aren't going to rebuild there, dude. Number one, in most cases, they don't have the fucking money to do a rebuild anyway. And number two, even if they were to rebuild, why the fuck would they rebuild in a fucking shithole neighborhood that just showed their true colors when they robbed the fucking place blind and then burned to the ground, dude? No, they're going to take what little they have left financially, and they're going to move that shit someplace else is what it is, dude, and probably build someplace else if they can rebuild again. And guess what? Now that other community is going to be better off because of that, and you fucking dumbasses over here just fucked yourself is what it is. Good fucking job, morons. Like, that's exactly what it is, dude, at the end of the day. And that's why I'm so sick of it, dude. It's also one of the reasons why I'm running for office next year. First for county commissioner, and if we actually make it 2026, eventually for governor, because I'm sick and tired of it, dude. And I feel like if I become governor of this state in a few years, I could definitely do a lot of good shit here, is what it is. So, anyway. Not sure if there's anything else I wanted to hear on this panel or not. I think maybe there was something else this chick said that I wanted to talk about for a minute there, but let me go ahead and just play the clip here.
You just can't win. You can't win.
AP, she didn't get shot for stealing. Let's just make that clear. That's not what happened.
But no, that's the narrative they're gonna pull. They're not gonna mention the fact that she tried to run over the police officer.
Okay, there we go.
And
Yeah.
they asked her, and I'm quite sure they asked her several times to get out of the car. All she had to do, and you know what? It would have been a misdemeanor. She would have been out the same day. That's what makes it so stupid.
Yeah, facts.
Okay. Yeah, it's getting too loud after that then. But yeah, that's the entire point though. And the thing is, like I said, it might have been a misdemeanor, it might not have been a misdemeanor. It depends really, honestly, unfortunately, when it comes to alcohol and stuff like that, dude. It depends, number one, what you're actually stealing value wise. Like if you're just stealing like you walk into a grocery store, whatever the case be, and you just go to like the lowest shelf on the thing or whatever, and it's just like a bunch of $10 bottles of shit or whatever, and it's like, I don't know, like 10 of them or something. Yeah, that's gonna be a misdemeanor. If you're going to like the top shelf shit, that's like, you know, $40-$50 a piece, dude, and you have like 10 of those and you're over $500 in the state of Ohio, no, bro, that is grand theft here, and you will be catching a felony charge in the state of Ohio for that. So yeah, it might be something where she was doing enough to do a felony, who knows, again. But yeah, from my understanding though, you're basically going to have the police chief was saying in a couple of these different news stories as well on that one, that what I guess they have to do for like purposes of, I think it was basically protecting identities of the cops, what it is here in the situation. They have to do like selective edits, what it is, that footage, to make sure that nothing can be like had or whatever. I think they're probably something where they can actually do like some kind of blur out of the police badge names and stuff like that. That's what it is then, and their numbers and shit. So anyway, makes sense on that one, honestly. But yeah, he was talking about basically doing like some kind of edit to the video is what it is for that reasoning or whatever, like their natural thing that they do all the time is what it is, and then eventually it will be released out to the public as it'll be. So who knows how long that's going to be? Could be a week, could be 2 weeks, could be a month from now, who knows? But yeah, honestly, it is what it is. The fact that you have 2 cops in that police department that's obviously needs police there is what it is. Now has 2 officers who were actually just doing their job, trying to help an old woman, you know, get her fucking keys out of her locked car, and end up having to, you know, defend themselves versus some fucking moron is trying to commit vehicular homicide on them now. Having to deal with this bullshit now and then be on, you know, leave of some kind. You know, it might be on paid leave, might be paid leave, who the hell knows? Either way, it's a bunch of crap, dude. And again, it becomes a situation there where you got a bunch of retards then coming out of the woodwork and being like, this is why we got to protect the black criminals again. It's like, no, this is why you're a fucking bunch of morons, dude. And then you wonder why, when your useful idiot ass becomes unuseful, why they're just going to turn on your dumb ass too, dude, is what it is. You know, and like that AP chick was saying, like, you know, when they have a food desert in their own neighborhood and then they come to yours and you're like, why the fuck you out here now? Kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, and then you get all scared and shit, dude. And it's like, that's exactly what it's going to be, dude. Or it's going to be, and then you got some fatal encounter with some fucking liberal asshole out there in their area then. So, I don't know. You really can't fix stupid, unfortunately, in this country, dude. And it's probably one of the best reasons why we definitely need to have something to do away with a lot of these retards voting rights on the left is what it is, dude. Seriously. You know, whether that be a convention of states, you just, you know, start repealing certain things or whatever the case be, or at least like amending amendments or something, if that be the case then. So who knows? But either way, it's just a bunch of shit either way, man. And like I said, it really does piss me the fuck off, honestly, because it's like, you could have a better place is what it is, man. You could have better things in this nation, you know, if people would just do their fucking due diligence and actually want to work and make money and pay for things instead of going around stealing shit, you know? And then escalating a fucking theft into a almost attempted murder then, and then wonder why they got fucking capped in response is what it is then. So, yeah. It's just a bunch of ignorant asses all the way around, dude. Just ignorant ass on top of ignorant ass on top of ignorant ass is what it is, dude. So, I don't know. It is what it is, man. The only thing I can say is use your power to make sure these dumbass Democrats don't get into power is what it is, dude. Use your voting power as a citizen of this country to make sure that some of the worst candidates on the ballot don't get on fucking in power at all, ever. And if you have a bunch of one-horse races and stuff like that in different areas of this country, dude, then considering jumping in the race yourself on an opposite party ticket or on a even in a primary against them for that same ticket, if that be the case, then primary season's coming up, dude. It's I believe here in the state of Ohio, we have to be filing by it's either the end of January or early February. It's like 9 days before the May primaries would be then. So, and that's why I got to get my shit to work right now is what it is, dude. Because I still have to get my signatures gathered for when I run for county commissioner here is what it is, which shouldn't really be hard issue is what it is. It's just really getting the paperwork and everything like that together right now to do signature gathering and being able to go out there and then, start door knocking and things like that. And maybe hold a couple of events here and there is what it is then to just have like a signing party, if you will, and just get some people to help me out and discuss like, the topics and stuff. Because the thing is, like, I know I need 50 signatures, but they got to all be valid is what it is. So I definitely get at least 100 to 150 anyway, at minimum, if not a couple hundred for that matter, which I think is doable, honestly. It just depends, when I can do it is what it'll be then. So just get out there and do some stuff. Probably have to go to the dollar store and make some signs is what it is too then for that matter. Because I was thinking about that recently. Because I think you guys remember, I'll pull out the old signage here that I made previously when we were doing our thing back in the day. Made some signs about constitutional carry and stuff like that. Basically get these same kind of boards from like Dollar Tree, about maybe 4 or 5 of them or something like that for $5-6, whatever it would be then. And, black magic marker and stuff too then. And then just start making some kind of signage is what it is then. And get maybe a little card table then and then set the thing up about like, sign here. And then have my name be like, me for county commissioners would be then. So be like, help me get on the ballot. Please sign here or sign the thing or something like that then. Maybe have a third one that's like honk if you love the constitutional republic or something. Or have something where it's like that on one side and then it's like make politicians civil servants again kind of thing or something. So anyway. But that's what we really need to be at this point in history, honestly, man. Enough of the politician shit. It's time to have civil servants again. It's time to have people that actually respect the constitutional take to office whenever they take to office is what it is. And if they're not going to be respectful of the U.S. Constitution, their oath of office, they don't need to be in office anymore is what it is, man. If they want to sit there and try to restrict gun rights or freedom of religion or something like that, dude, then their asses need to be tossed at office is what it is then. So anyway, but yeah, needless to say, okay, sorry, internet dipped out on me like crazy there. But yeah, so basically, what I was saying though, yeah, going back to reiterate the whole thing though. You had a girl go into a thing with a bunch of her buddies, and they were trying to rob the place pretty much is what it was. They were trying to do a strong arm robbery, jack as much as they could, and get out and go then. As people have pointed out, she was most likely a getaway driver. That's why she ran out first then. And unfortunately, because of that, she was confronted, didn't realize there was 2 cops in the parking lot, apparently. Got confronted by those cops, tried to run one down, mow one down, and single shot, she ain't with us anymore, dude. So it's a fatal mistake. And it's a learning experience for others, dude, is what it really is, honestly, at the end of the day. It's like, don't do stupid shit and you're going to be alive. Don't commit a bunch of crimes and then commit more crime on top of that, and you're probably not going to be killed by cops in a fatal encounter, is what it'll be. So, anyway. But yeah, it's definitely time to have something change in this country's history where we just have better policing again, I think is what it is. And just better policing and also better communities for that matter. Which I think the two could go hand in hand, honestly. You know, you start demilitarizing the cops, you bring them back to, you know, where police actually walk their beats again, get to know the people in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And you start building that trust again. You know, you start building that unity again, where people would respect the badge. They would actually want to help the cops catch a criminal in their neighborhood that's maybe robbing them or robbing some old woman or whatever the case be then. And not being like, I'm not going to say fucking nothing, bro, because fuck you. Fuck 12. Kind of bullshit like that's what it is, dude. And that's the kind of mentality we're seeing right now is what it is, unfortunately. You know, it doesn't help when you got fucking retards, actual BLM terrorists like Cori Bush sitting in Congress right now, who, by the way, should have also been disqualified in the fucking spot for holding office in this country when she literally was a fucking chapter head of BLM in St. Louis, Missouri, before she was elected into Congress in 2020. And she definitely 100% had to do with those fucking riots in Missouri, in that shithole capital of St. Louis there. So, yeah, her ass should be in a federal prison right now, dude, doing a fuck ton of time. Not in Congress, stealing fucking money from the American people and paychecks, and then trying to defund the cops while literally hiring her own fucking husband as a private security dude and paying him a fuck ton of money then. Seriously, how is that even not a fucking, like, how is that not an IODQ from office, dude? When you literally hire some fucking private security firm to protect your dumb ass, and then you marry the guy that's like the head of it, and now you're still paying him a bunch of money out the door through campaign funds, by the way. Like, how, first of all, how's it not a campaign violation that's also like multiple felonies on top of that then? And then to add to that, then it would also be an auto DQ from office then. Like, it just blows my mind that it's not any of those things, dude, when it should be all those things. So, anyway. But, yeah, we're definitely heading down a bad place in history right now. And unfortunately, this is the kind of time periods that start shit like a rise of Hitler kind of deal, or a Stalin, or a Mao, or a Che Guevara, or a Hugo Chavez, or a Pol Pot, or any of these kind of fucking people in history, dude. You know, you want a dictator, leftists, keep on going the route you're going right now, and it's going to happen. You know, keep on doing stupid shit here. Keep on trying to create a banana republic here is what it is. And then you wonder when you fucking find out the truth of, at the end of the day, like what happens there, why you're going to have a bunch of fucking pushback and a giant fucking shift of the pendulum to where your dumbasses are going to be the one in concentration camps at the end of the day or something. So, because that's where we're heading right now, honestly, dude. And honestly, the scary part is, I think it'd be everybody in concentration camps at the end of the day. It wouldn't just be the bunch of dumbass leftists, dude. It'd be everybody across the board. It would be, you know, people like me getting rounded up first because we care about the Constitution, we love our guns, et cetera, and we're not going to vote for tyrannical governments. And then it would be the leftist dumbasses that are the people that can do those color revolutions, that know enough to how to overthrow governments and shit like that. Is what it would be then. That would be put up against the wall again, too, for that matter, because why would you keep them around, dude? You know, it's exactly what Hitler did when he rose to power. It's exactly what Stalin did when he rose to power, et cetera. There, these guys used the useful idiots that were usually leftist dipshits, is what it was there, to amass power, to assume a dictatorship then. And as soon as they got into power, guess who was on alive after that? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was the dumbasses that helped get them in power, is what it was, dude. And that's exactly what we'd see again throughout history. You know, there's a reason why history repeats itself, dude. And then again, some people say history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, is what it is. And that's the truth. It does rhyme in a lot of cases. It might not be, you know, word for word, page for page, what it was, you know, 80, 90 years ago. But it's damn close is what it is, man. So, yeah. I don't look forward to any of it, man. Like I said. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But needless to say, I wanted to do this update because we had the stuff to update is what it was, though. Like I said, we'll be back in about probably 12 hours, give or take, for Buckshot Thursday. We'll be talking about the retards in Tennessee, aka Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson, well, she always tossed to the office right now and in Tennessee prison right now. We'll be talking about some other stuff too, for that matter, but it's mostly going to be about gun stuff relating to Tennessee, and then some other gun stuff relating across the board in America. Here is what it is then, because there's been some cases recently, and I want to say one's Virginia is what it is, and there's some 2A stuff going on there with the under 21 purchase limiting and stuff like that. And judges are finally doing their job to basically knock that one down to where it's like, no, you cannot restrict the rights of 18, 19, and 20-year-olds to be able to buy long guns in this country, especially when those same kids can go serve the military at 18, 19, 20, or even at 17 for that matter, for parental consent and stuff. So, which is kind of weird to me, right? Like, they can go there and do that in the military. They can go to military and get full auto. They can also go into the U.S. military and be given a sidearm and be doing like pistol certifications and stuff like that. But yet they can't buy a handgun at 18, 19, or 20. Seems kind of silly, right? It really does, honestly. It really, really does, honestly. Now, granted, that's also why some states have a thing where you can do private sales to anybody of 18 and over is what it is, though. That being said, most people, myself included, usually won't do pistol selling to somebody that's like 18, 19, or 20 is what it is. Unless we really know that person who would be, man. Like, that's my thing. Like, I'll make exceptions, obviously. Like, if I knew somebody that was like, a family friend or whatever the case be, and it was like I had something I needed to sell to make some money or whatever the case be, like maybe I'd sell to this kid or whatever. Because it's like, I know that kid, I know he's a good kid or whatever the case be, but it's like, yeah, I'm not going to go, driving like an hour or two down to Columbus or whatever the case be into some random hood area and sell some fucking, random gun to some dude that, looks shady as fuck is what it is, of any race for that matter. Like, nah, bro. Like, I have to definitely know you for sure for that one. So, anyway, that's just my personal opinion on the whole thing, honestly. I think a lot of people feel that same way, honestly. And then there's some people that just because of that reasoning, because, you don't know if the kid has a, felony or whatever the case be then, and they can't obviously do, concealed carry courses and stuff at that point to actually have like a CCW holder and stuff. Most people will just be like, no, I'm not going to sell to anybody under 21. That's what it is there, which is, again, is their own prerogative. It's their right to be able to do that. It's their right to be able to be like, no, I'm not going to sell to somebody that's like 19 or 20 years old or whatever the case be then. And it's mostly to cover their own ass is what it is, dude. Which also is why you do bill of sale thing as well, for that matter, in private sales, because that way, in case you do sell to somebody, even over the age of 21, that happens to be, some asshole, whatever the case be, and they go on some kind of killing spree using that firearm that you sold them. Now you have it, or not even going to killing spree, but just like, commit felony crimes with it, whatever the case be, like a carjacking or rob a liquor store, whatever the case be with it later on. You get the cops come back to you or whatever the case be because that gun was found at a crime scene or something like that. Be like, hey, I sold it to this fucking person. Here's the bill of sale kind of thing. Don't even be trying to bring me into this shit, dude. So, yeah. And again, it's just a way to cover your own ass is what it is there. So anyway. And also for that same vein of things, I would never sell a gun privately to anyone that is not willing to fill out a bill of sale just because of that reasoning. Like, I don't care if you're going to offer me like a couple $100 more for that gun, dude. Like, no dice, bro. Because to me, that tells me, hey, you got enough money to overpay for it, but you're probably going to use it in a crime later on. And you want it in my name, not your own, is what it is. So, yeah, no fucking chance of hell, brother. But anyway, that being said, that's pretty much where we're at for the day. Like I said, I'll be back later today, about 12, 13 hours from now, depending, probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in there. And yeah, we'll be talking about some different things going on with gun stuff, Tennessee General Assembly, and what they did with their special session here, etc. there. So, hopefully Corey will be back around for Buckshot Thursday, and we can get some stuff done here. And then maybe we'll do some 2A scenarios if he's here, actually. I don't know, man. It all depends. But anyway, there's definitely some other stuff I want to talk about. Jones, Pearson, Johnson, all the rest of the damn Democrats in Tennessee. They're a bunch of gun-grabbing assholes. You shouldn't be in office anymore then. So, and then again, all these stupid cunts that are also trying to form dumbass anti-gun groups again is what it is there. And be all like, but we should have the power to strip your gun rights away from you. No, you shouldn't, asshole. Go fuck yourself. You want to take away gun rights from somebody? Here's a fucking wild idea. take gun rights away from a bunch of fucking psychos like your fucking leftist twat that committed the fucking Covenant school shooting there. Which includes yourself, for that matter. You know, you want to have gun rights restricted? Willingly give up your own and make yourself a better person, dumbasses. And we'll be better off in the long run for that reasoning. And it's really simple as that then. So, anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see y'all in the next one, and have a good day, man. Like I said, I'll do this off as I do most of the time. Hug your wife, your husband, your kids, your family, mom, dad, whatever it is that you live with. You know, if you don't live with them, call them up, tell them you love them, because you never know if today's going to be your last with them. You know, there's a lot of psychos walking around this country right now, and unfortunately, the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And when the police are literally minutes away, seconds always matter. And you have to be your own first responder. And it's as simple as that. Have a good one. Later.